Homeless veteran playing War Pigs when suddenly Ozzy Osbourne showed up. Asterisk. He was just a homeless veteran playing War Pigs on a broken guitar, when suddenly Ozzy Osbourne himself stepped out of the crowd and froze. What happened next changed both of their lives forever. Before the story begins, make sure to subscribe to Voices of Darkness, and like or share this video with your friends. If you love Ozzy Osbourne, prove your love and help us reach 1,000 subscribers. Share this video now, and don't forget, comment your name so we might use you as a character in the next story. Asterisk. Homeless veteran playing War Pigs when suddenly Ozzy Osbourne showed up. The wind cut through the chilly Los Angeles evening like shards of glass, carrying with it the distant hum of traffic, the smell of street food, and the soft murmurs of strangers passing under flickering streetlights. On the corner of 9th and Hill Street, beneath a cracked neon sign that buzzed like a dying insect, sat a man most people ignored. His name was Sam Carter, 58 years old, U.S. Army veteran, and for the last 3 years homeless. The city didn't know his story. It didn't know the battles he fought after returning home. It didn't know how he ended up with nothing but a worn-out military jacket, a backpack filled with memories, and a broken acoustic guitar missing one string. But tonight, that guitar was in his hands, and his rough, calloused fingers began strumming something most people recognized instantly, the opening riff of War Pigs. His voice cracked, rusty from cold nights and cheap cigarettes, but it still carried a strange strength, as if a whole lifetime bled through each note. People walked by, some slowed down, few listened, most didn't care. But Sam didn't play for money. He didn't play for attention. He didn't play to be seen. He played because it was the only thing that kept him alive. Music, the only thing that still made him feel human. A couple of teenagers laughed as they recorded him on their phones. A businessman dropped a quarter without even looking. A mother hurried her child past him as if pain were contagious. And yet Sam kept playing. Generals gathered in their masses. His voice rasped through the air, blending with the city noise. That's when a man walking by suddenly froze. A familiar voice, a familiar song. Sam kept strumming, unaware that behind him, the small crowd had gone silent, unaware that someone had stopped walking, someone with long black hair, round glasses, and a face known across the world, someone who had written the song Sam was bleeding his soul into, someone he'd never expected to meet. Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness himself, standing there, staring at him, not with fame, not with ego, not with distance, but with something Sam hadn't seen in years: recognition, pain, and respect. Ozzy took a slow step forward, his eyes locked on the trembling veteran singing his song like it was the last thing keeping him alive. And Sam, he was still lost in the music, unaware of the man behind him, unaware of the moment that was about to change everything. Ozzy exhaled, whispering under his breath, "Bloody hell." That voice. The small crowd parted like a curtain as Ozzy walked closer, each step echoing with years of history, addiction, recovery, battles, music, and understanding. Because Ozzy Osbourne knew pain, he knew suffering, he knew losing yourself, he knew fighting demons people couldn't see. And standing before him was a man fighting those exact demons. Ozzy stepped closer until he was right behind Sam. And then Sam hit the chorus. "Oh Lord, yeah." Ozzy closed his eyes. That broken voice, that raw feeling, that truth. It hit him harder than any stadium performance he ever gave. Sam finally stopped playing, only because the wind cut him off. Snapping the worn guitar pick from his fingers, he sighed, lowering his head. He didn't notice the silence around him. He didn't notice the crowd watching, and he definitely didn't notice the rock legend standing right behind him, until he felt a hand touch his shoulder. A gentle one, a respectful one. Sam turned, his eyes widened, the world froze, his breath vanished. "Holy, you're," he stuttered. Ozzy smiled softly. Mate, I'm Ozzy." Sam's lip trembled, his knees almost buckled. This was a man he grew up listening to, a man who carried millions of souls with his voice, a man whose music got him through the darkest nights in Iraq, and now he was standing in front of him. "Why'd you stop, lad?" Ozzy asked. "Keep playing." Sam blinked in disbelief. "No, I'm not good enough. Look at this thing." He held up the broken guitar. Ashamed. Ozzy stepped closer and placed both hands on the instrument, treating it like treasure. "Music isn't about the bloody guitar," Ozzy said. "It's about the soul behind it, and yours has been screaming for a long time." Sam swallowed hard. He tried to speak, but only managed a shaky breath. "Play it," Ozzy said gently. "For me." People gasped. Phones came out. Cameras rolled. But for Sam, the whole world disappeared. There was only him, his battered guitar, and Ozzy Osbourne waiting to hear him sing. He strummed again, shaky but determined. And Ozzy did something no one expected. He knelt down beside Sam, leaned in close, and began singing with him. Together, in the middle of the street, a homeless veteran and a rock legend, singing War Pigs like it was the first time the world had ever heard it. Sam's fingers trembled as he the chords weren't perfect. The guitar buzzed. The missing string rattled USELESSLY. But the soul behind the music, that was perfect. Ozzy leaned in, his voice lower, softer, but unmistakable. Politicians hide themselves away. Sam froze. His eyes shot toward Ozzy's mouth, as if trying to confirm the impossible. But it was real. Ozzy Osbourne was singing with him, a homeless veteran, a forgotten man, a nobody in the eyes of everyone who passed him. Yet here he was, harmonizing with the very legend whose music held his broken life together. The crowd that had gathered fell into a stunned silence. Some people removed their earbuds, others stopped across the street. Someone's drink slipped from their hand. A car slowed just to watch. A woman whispered, tears streaming, "That's Ozzy." And the homeless man, "Oh my God." Phones lifted, lights flashed, but Sam didn't notice any of it, because Ozzy didn't once look at the cameras. Not once. He looked only at Sam. A man who carried war scars the world never saw. A man who sang with pain most people couldn't imagine. A man living a life that had stripped nearly everything: dignity, home, family, identity. And now, for the first time in years, someone truly saw him. "Come on, lad," Ozzy said, nodding encouragingly. "This is your song as much as mine. Loud now." Sam exhaled. His voice cracked, but he pushed through. Death and hatred to mankind. Ozzy harmonized with him. People gasped. The ground almost vibrated with the raw emotion between them. When the chorus ended, Sam dropped his hand from the strings. A long, shaky breath escaped him, the kind you release after carrying weight for far too long. Ozzy didn't move. He just stared at Sam. Not with pity, but with understanding. "That was bloody incredible," Ozzy finally said. Sam shook his head. No, it wasn't. I'm nobody. I'm nothing. Don't you bloody say that," Ozzy snapped, voice sharp but not unkind. "You survived things most people wouldn't dare imagine." Sam looked down at his scarred hands, the ones that once held rifles, the ones that once saluted, the ones that now shook every morning from PTSD and cold nights. Then Ozzy gently placed his hand over Sam's. "Mate, survivors aren't nobodies. They're warriors, and you're still standing." Sam swallowed hard, his throat tight, his voice cracking. You don't know what I've been through." Ozzy's eyes softened. "Oh lad, you'd be surprised what I've seen. Fame doesn't protect you from demons. It just puts them in front of an audience." For the first time in years, Sam let out a small, broken laugh. Ozzy grinned. "That's better," he said. "Now, tell me something." Sam looked up. "What's your name?" "Sam," he whispered. "Samuel Carter, U.S. Army." Ozzy nodded respectfully, almost like a salute. "Good to meet you, Sam." Sam blinked rapidly, trying to hold himself together. "Nobody's said that to me in a long time." Ozzy's expression turned serious. "Well, they bloody well should have." The veteran wiped his eyes with the back of his sleeve. "I failed everyone, Ozzy. My family left, my home gone." "My life you didn't fail," Ozzy interrupted. "The world failed you." Sam froze. Those words punched deeper than any wound he ever carried. Ozzy squeezed his shoulder. "Now tell me, Sam, where are you sleeping tonight?" Sam looked away, embarrassed. I usually stay behind the old bus station. There's a corner there with a roof. Keeps the rain out sometimes." Ozzy's face darkened with empathy. "That's no place for a man who just gave the best version of War Pigs I've heard in years." Sam tried to laugh it off, but his voice broke. "I don't deserve your kindness, or your time." Ozzy stepped closer. "Listen to me, lad. I didn't stop because I felt sorry for you. I stopped because you moved me. Your voice, your soul, that's something you can't teach. It comes from pain, real pain." Sam stared at him, stunned. Ozzy continued. "You know what I see when I look at you? Not a homeless man, not a broken veteran, not a nobody." He leaned in. I see a musician. Sam felt something inside him crack open. A wound he'd been hiding for years. A dream he'd buried long ago. I haven't been called that since I came back from Iraq, Sam whispered. Well, Ozzy said, gripping his shoulder. You're hearing it again now. The wind blew gently between them. Sam blinked away tears. Why me? He whispered. Ozzy looked around at the street, at the people filming, staring, whispering, because you reminded me of myself. Lost, hurt, fighting your own mind every day. Sam lowered his head. I'm tired, Ozzy. So tired. Ozzy gently lifted his chin. Then let someone help you stand for a bit. Sam stared at him. Why would you help me? Ozzy's voice softened. Because somebody once helped me when I was where you are. Sam's breath trembled. Are you saying I'll be okay? Ozzy smiled. I'm saying we'll bloody make sure of it. Sam's chest shook. He didn't know if it was relief, disbelief, or hope, but he felt something he hadn't felt in years. A spark, a tiny, fragile spark, that maybe he wasn't done yet. Ozzy stood up and tapped his phone. Manager's 2 blocks away. He said, come on lad, walk with me. Sam stumbled back. What? No, I can't. I smell. I'm dirty. Ozzy cut him off with a laugh. Sam, I toured with Sabbath in the 70s. You think anyone smelled good back then? Sam cracked another laugh, this one real. Ozzy reached down and held out his hand. Come with me. Sam hesitated, but then, very slowly, he took Ozzy Osbourne's hand, and the world watched as the rock legend helped a homeless veteran rise from the cold concrete floor of the street. Sam held Ozzy's hand like a man afraid the world might swallow him back into darkness. The moment he let go, they walked together through the evening street, a homeless veteran and a rock legend, and every passerby froze as if witnessing something impossible. Phones rose, cameras clicked, people whispered, that's Ozzy. Who's that guy? Is he helping him? What's happening? But Sam didn't hear them. He only heard the beating of his own heart. He couldn't understand why Ozzy was doing this. He couldn't understand why a man adored by millions would stop for him. Where are we going? Sam finally whispered. Ozzy nudged him gently. To get you warm, get you fed, get you safe. Sam swallowed. I don't deserve this. Ozzy stopped walking and turned to him. Sam, look at me. Sam lifted his eyes. You survived hell. That alone means you deserve a damn break. And maybe tonight. That break finally came. Tears welled in Sam's eyes. Ozzy placed a hand on his back and guided him toward a corner. Cafe still glowing with warm yellow lights. The smell of coffee and toasted bread filled the air. But as they approached, Sam hesitated. I can't go in there, he whispered. People look at me like I'm garbage. Ozzy took off his glasses and stared right into him. You walk through that door with me, he said softly, and nobody will lay a disrespectful eye on you. Not tonight. Sam trembled. For years, he stood outside places like this, cold, hungry, invisible. But now, he took a shaky breath and followed Ozzy inside. Inside the cafe, a moment nobody expected, the door chimed as they entered. Conversations stopped mid-sentence. Forks froze above plates. The barista blinked like she'd seen a ghost. Ozzy Osbourne, in her cafe, helping a homeless veteran inside like he was family. What can I get you both? She finally stuttered. Ozzy looked at Sam. Well, what do you fancy, lad? Sam stared at the menu, so overwhelmed he couldn't speak. I haven't ordered food in a real place in almost 3 years. Ozzy gently patted his shoulder. Then tonight you order whatever the hell you want. Sam sat down slowly, still trembling. He whispered, a hot soup, maybe bread. That's enough. Ozzy shook his head. You're getting soup, and a meal, and whatever you want after that. Understand? Sam nodded, tears threatening again. The cafe staff treated him with kindness. Kindness he thought he'd never feel again. A warm bowl of soup arrived first. Sam held it with both hands, inhaling the steam like it was the last breath of life itself. You okay? Ozzy asked quietly. Sam nodded, then began shaking. Not from cold, but from something deeper. I had a brother, Sam whispered. We used to listen to Black Sabbath in our garage when we were kids. War Pigs was his favorite. The last time I heard it was in Iraq. Ozzy leaned forward. What happened? Sam's lip quivered. He didn't come home. Silence fell between them. The whole cafe seemed to hold its breath. Sam continued, voice cracking. That song. Your song. It's how I survived the nights after he died. It made me feel like someone understood the madness inside my head. Ozzy placed his hand over Sam's trembling fist. Then, I'm honored you played it tonight. Sam squeezed his eyes shut, whispering, I just miss him. Ozzy's voice softened to a whisper. You brought him back tonight, lad. With every note, Sam broke down, head in his hands, sobbing quietly. Ozzy didn't pull away. He didn't look uncomfortable. He didn't rush him. He just stayed. A legend holding space for a broken soul. The viral moment outside the cafe. The crowd was still growing. The video of Ozzy singing with Sam had already hit social media, spreading faster than wildfire. Legend helps homeless veteran. Ozzy Osbourne sings War Pigs with homeless hero. This broke me. This restored my faith in humanity. People began leaving comments like, find this man, help him, who is he, where is he right now, someone get him a home. Inside, Sam didn't know the world was watching him, because, for the first time in years, he felt human again. The life-changing moment. Ozzy finally leaned back and spoke. Sam, I want you to listen very carefully to what I'm about to say. Sam looked up, wiping his eyes. I'm listening. Ozzy pointed at the broken guitar leaning against the chair. That guitar doesn't deserve you. Your voice, your soul, deserves better. Sam looked confused. Ozzy reached under the table and pulled out his phone. Oi, Billy, he said into the receiver. Bring it here. Yeah, the black case. The one I signed last month. Hurry. Sam blinked. What? What is that? Ozzy hung up and faced him. You played my song like a man who's been fighting a war inside himself for years, and yet your voice still rose. That's strength. That's art. That's something rare. Sam shook his head. Ozzy, I'm just a broken man. No, Ozzy said sharply. You're an artist, a survivor, and you're about to stand again. Just then the cafe door opened. Ozzy's manager walked in, holding a black guitar case. Sam stared. Ozzy opened it, and inside was the most beautiful black electric guitar Sam had ever seen. Custom, signed, polished like starlight, worth more than everything Sam had lost. Ozzy pushed the case toward him. It's yours. Sam jerked back. No, I can't. I can't take that. You can, Ozzy insisted. And you will. Sam's voice shook violently. Ozzy, I'm not worthy of this. Ozzy leaned close, voice firm. Sam, you stood in a war zone for your country. You stood on streets people walk past without seeing you. And tonight, you stood and sang your heart out like a man who refuses to die. He gripped Sam's shoulder. If anyone's worthy, it's you. Sam broke, right there, in front of everyone, sobbing like a child, hands shaking as he touched the guitar gently, like it might disappear. Thank you, he whispered. I don't know how to repay you. Ozzy smiled. He just did when you sang. A second chance. Ozzy wasn't done. He slid a business card across the table. Tomorrow, you meet my team. We'll get you housing, clothes, medical support, and, if you want, maybe even a chance to record something. Sam's lips trembled. Me, record, Ozzy, I don't even know who I am anymore. Ozzy wrapped an arm around him. Then, let's find you again. Sam broke into the deepest, most painful, most healing tears of his life. The cafe applauded. People outside clapped. Phones filmed. But Sam only saw Ozzy, a stranger, a legend, a miracle in black glasses, a man who showed up when this veteran had nothing left. 1 week later, the World Reacts A video went viral. Homeless veteran sings War Pigs. Ozzy joins him. 23 million views. Thousands donated. A studio reached out. Sam's GoFundMe exploded. A local charity offered him an apartment. But the most powerful moment was the final clip of the video. Sam sitting in a warm room, holding the black electric guitar, grinning as he played the first clear, strong notes he'd played in years. And Ozzy beside him saying, "Welcome back, Sam. If this story touched your heart, make sure you subscribe to Voices of Darkness right now. Like the video, share it with your friends, and help us reach our 1,000 subscribers target. And if you love Ozzy Osbourne, prove it by sharing this video everywhere. Also comment your name below. You might be picked as a character in the next story."